Education is preparation for reparation, yeah?
That our next speaker, who is one of the Secretariat, will not do this.
Aye. African time for her. African time.
As an organizer of this conference, our next speaker is Esther Xosei, who is the Executive Director of Stop the Mangamizi. Thank you, Honourable Chairwoman, distinguished elders, dignitaries, our traditional leaders who've joined us, and all of you as guests, brothers and sisters, comrades in struggle. I'll try and be really, really quick. So, thinking about the topic of the meaning, the purposes, and the politics of African reparations. And so I just wanted to bring together some streams of thought from the work of the Mangamizi Educational Trust that I'm the Executive Director of, the educational arm of the Stop the Mangamizi We Charge Genocide Ecocide campaign. And I begin by pointing out the importance of our story, history, her story, our story. Because the struggle that we are speaking about today, that we are joining, has a history, and our story, a her story. It hasn't just dropped from the sky, as Professor Walter Rodney spoke about, that there are real people, ideas, lineages that we have to have at the bedrock of everything that we are doing. And part of the politics of what's going on today is that there is not only historicide being committed, an attempt to kind of kill that history and kill the memory of those that sacrificed for this struggle. What we also have is an erasure of the illustrious works of our forebears, including in recent times. So it is really important to revisit, especially during this last 30-year period, in terms of a modern kind of phase of the struggle for Pan-African reparations. That is for all African people, wherever we are. And one of the things that is really great and unique about the movement here, which is not a black British movement, is that the movement here has always been Pan-Africanist. That is the dominant tendency within the International Social Movement for African Reparations, the UK contingent. We are too small in number to have gotten into those kind of very chauvinistic notions that reparations is just about us. And in my journey, I have unfortunately encountered many people now taking up this mantle of reparations who have tried to restrict even the participation of some of us from different parts of the UK on the basis that we're not Black Scots, or we're not this, or we're not that. This is the movement that we have today. And these are the battles of ideas, that are ideas around nationality, around class, around gender, and other intersectional concerns that we must contend with if we are to do justice to the memory and the legacy of those who have carved the path, who have paved the way, those who were assassinated. Let's use the term. Yes. And we who now are standing on their shoulders cannot dishonor them. Yeah. We cannot dishonor their memories and their contributions. We cannot commit the ancestral treason that is happening today, because some of us are well positioned. This is the politics. Yes. Some of us will not do it, because we are in touch with our lineages and we are accountable to them. That's right. To our ancestors. That's right. We are them. We are them to ourselves, but most importantly to our future generations. So the kind of world that we fashion as a result of African reparations is all important. And we haven't got the luxury of time. Our young brother Colin spoke about the crisis, the polycrisis, the existential threats that we as a people and the rest of humanity faces. We don't have time for regionalism. We don't have time for just country politics. We do not have time to keep on trying to prop up the master's house and actually just organize according to the world view and the actual global configuration of forces that were created by our colonizers. Whether we're saying CARICOM or the African Union, who funds the African Union? Is it ours? Amilcar Cabral spoke about the importance of us telling the truth to our people. Claiming no easy victories, hiding nothing from the masses of our people. And if we do not do that, we will have blood on our hands. Blood on our hands. And some of us already have that blood on our hands. So some of us have to speak to this question of the meaning, the politics, and also the purpose. So just to summarize. Because before we got an ambitious program and we have to give everyone the time. Professor Molena Karenga, in his paper on the ethics of African reparations, tells us that this struggle, like all our struggles, begins with a need for a clear conception of what we want, how we define the issue and explain it to the world, and what is done to achieve it. So he argues that we should be using the terminology of Maangamizi. It's important from a cognitive justice perspective to use African epistemology. When we're talking about African reparations, this is not blackface. And looking at what other peoples do, because there is no universal definition or framework of reparations that fits all groups, peoples, and cultures. Every group defines reparations according to their liberation thrust and their potential. And we've already heard that the key aspect of reparations must bring about not only a new global order, but the restoration of African people's sovereignty and our lands, our connection to our land, which is the rematriation agenda. We've heard about Ma'atu Buntuman, a pan-African union that is anti-imperialist, that is premised on African notions of Ma'at and Ubuntu, not these states that were created at the 1884-1885 Berlin Conference that reinforced European coloniality. And let's look at that resistance against the Maangamizi of neo-colonialism in Niger, in Burkina Faso, in Mali. And look at even the response of the African Union. Let's look at what's going on in Haiti. And why do we have CARICOM states supporting an intervention that has been led by Kenya? This is the politics. That's about reparations. Because the people in Haiti have been struggling to restore their sovereignty. And that was the case of African reparations applied. And they have been paying for it ever since. So the politics of African reparations are important for us to recognize. Because right now, because of the strength of the movement from below, the international social movement for African reparations, working with the part of the wider People's Reparations International movement, now the question of reparations or the cause has become mainstream. So everybody's taking it up now. I have been removed from several jobs, including in black organizations, because of my advocacy of reparations. When it wasn't common and popular today. And some of those people are the biggest voices you will now hear being amplified on reparations. We have to grapple with this, because what we have are those who have taken on the neo-colonial nation states, who are now being given a lot of the voice in the mass media, but look at the practice. And why is it we're not recognizing, or why don't we do that investigation of what is happening in these countries? Where is the popular democratic voice? Where are the meetings of the ordinary people who can shape any plan in any region? Not just state-appointed bodies and experts and historians, okay, who toe the state line. We've got our sister here, an Over-Herero sister. Let's look at what's going on with the reconciliation agreement between Namibia and Germany that excludes those who are victims and survivors of the Over-Herero and Nama genocide. This is the politics of what's going on. We have the movement capture. We have the elite capture when those who are the elites in any society are the voices that are now shaping what reparations is. That is not right.
Not right.
We have the counterinsurgency, which also sometimes comes in people looking like me and you. So neo-colonialism, yes, we are concerned with chattel enslavement, but we have to see that direct line between chattelization, colonization, and contemporary neo-colonialism. And why are we leaving out neo-colonialism when that was set for us in Abuja in 1993? Why now are we not recognizing who are the neo-colonial leaders? Who are the ones actually collaborating today with those who have benefited from unjust enrichment? So, and treason. So I've been told my time is up. There's obviously a lot more to say, but hopefully you got a sense of what.
Yes, my leader. Yes, my leader.
Education is preparation for reparations.